The Green Bay Packers persistently face challenges arising from slow starts when competing against teams within their division. The persistent difficulties throughout the season against NFC North adversaries have substantially diminished the Packers' already slim prospects of securing a divisional title, rendering this achievement increasingly improbable. The Green Bay Packers, currently holding a record of 9 wins and 4 losses, encountered their third divisional defeat out of 4 matchups on Thursday night in a 34-31 loss to Detroit. The sole divisional victory for Green Bay came during a narrow triumph in Chicago in mid-November, a game ultimately decided by a blocked field goal by Karl Brooks as the clock expired, ensuring a win by the slimmest of margins. Green Bay finds itself trailing significantly in the divisional standings, positioned 3 games behind the leading Detroit Lions, who have achieved an impressive 12-1 record, and 1.5 games behind the Minnesota Vikings, standing at 10-2. The Lions hold a critical advantage through a tiebreaker, having emerged victorious in both regular season encounters with the Packers. Despite these divisional setbacks, Green Bay maintains a favorable position to secure a wild-card playoff spot due to their remarkable success against non-divisional opponents, boasting a record of 8 wins and 1 loss in such contests. According to center Josh Myers, the team's focus remains on qualifying for the playoffs, emphasizing the importance of making the postseason. Myers expressed a desire for a stronger standing, but acknowledged the necessity of making the best out of their current circumstances and capitalizing on the opportunities ahead. Should the Packers manage to secure a playoff berth, the path to their first Super Bowl appearance since their championship run over a decade ago may require navigating through challenging road games, potentially involving matchups against either the Detroit Lions or the Minnesota Vikings. Notably, the Packers previously suffered a narrow home defeat to the Vikings in late September and are set to face them again in Minnesota during the final week of December. In their recent encounter against Detroit, the Packers mounted a spirited comeback from a 10-point halftime deficit, even briefly taking the lead, only to fall short as a decisive 35-yard field goal sealed Detroit's victory in the closing moments. Coach Matt LaFleur attributed the team's struggles primarily to sluggish starts, particularly on the offensive side, which have plagued them throughout their divisional contests. A concerning trend has emerged in these games, with the Packers consistently trailing at halftime and being outscored significantly during the first half, accumulating a mere 24 points compared to 72 points allowed. Conversely, in their other games this season, the Packers have outperformed opponents before halftime by a substantial margin. The Packers' recent history against Detroit further underscores their challenges, having lost 6 of their last 7 matchups with the Lions. The sole victory during this span occurred on Thanksgiving Day in Detroit last season. Nevertheless, linebacker Isaiah McDuffie expressed confidence in the team's ability to prevail should they face the Lions in the postseason, expressing hope for redemption and the opportunity to prove their capabilities on a larger stage. The offensive unit showcased resilience by recovering from an initially sluggish performance, producing 3 touchdowns and 1 field goal during the second half. The contributions of Brandon McManus, who successfully converted a crucial 32-yard field goal late in the game, have significantly stabilized the place-kicking duties since his arrival in mid-October. On the defensive side, several individual performances stood out, including Zane Anderson's impactful contribution in an expanded role and Kenny Clark's standout tackling effort, which limited Detroit's rushing efficiency. Conversely, certain areas require improvement. The offensive struggles during the early stages of the game, marked by 2 punts and a fumble in the initial series, highlight the need for a more consistent start. Defensively, the Packers faced difficulty containing Detroit's screen passes and struggled to halt the Lions' aggressive 4th-down strategies. Despite these shortcomings, key players have demonstrated significant progress, including running back Josh Jacobs and tight end Tucker Kraft, both of whom continue to deliver impressive performances. Injury concerns remain a persistent issue for the Packers, with several key players sidelined due to various ailments, impacting the team's depth and performance. Notable absences include cornerback Jair Alexander and linebacker Edgerrin Cooper, alongside other contributors who have been unavailable due to injuries sustained in recent games. This latest defeat also marked the end of the Packers' notable streak of consecutive road victories against divisional opponents, a stretch that included successes in Chicago and other NFC North venues over the past 2 seasons. The pattern of falling behind early in games against divisional rivals contrasts sharply with the team's performance in other matchups, where they have consistently established early leads, underscoring the importance of addressing this disparity as they prepare for the critical stages of the season.